What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on my channel, and today we're going to discuss Port Adelaide's round 5 loss to Geelong. We're going to review the game, have a look exactly what happened and everything in between as well. So let's get straight into it and have a look and see exactly what happened last night. Yeah, that was interesting, to say the least. What a poor performance by the boys last night. I thought for a split second there was a chance we were going to win that, especially in that third quarter where we had all the play, all the run, and we just couldn't hit a target inside 50 to save our lives, and we were just so lethargic is probably the word. So not ready to move on, not ready to quickly take on the play, take on Geelong's zone. We just got stuck and we were slow, risk-free. It was a frustrating game, and especially from last week, to come off of that type of game, expecting the team to bounce back, which in a way they sort of did, because some issues were sort of controlled and then others opened up. So it was like getting multiple bullet holes in your body, covering some, but there's still blood coming out of the other. That's the type of game we played last night, and it was just horrible to watch at times. And I really feel for the 45,000 people there last night, because they got a spectacle that was not of what should be played at Port Adelaide standard, and not of what should be played, especially in ANZAC round, which is one of the more important rounds of the year, and especially at the end of the game when the some Port fans decided to boo Joel Selwood, which, yes, I know, we don't like him. He's not a player that we particularly have a liking to, but to boo someone getting an ANZAC medal is kind of disrespectful as such. It's more to the medal, especially. I know we hate Joel Selwood. I do. I was one last night, giving him my opinion of what I think of him. But at the end of the day, he won the award, so we should really show some respect to that. But nonetheless, the game itself was mediocre. Mediocre was probably the word I wanted to give it. The new recruits, they looked off last night. Motlop, I think, maybe something to do with playing his old side, had an effect on the way he was playing, because he only had the 11 touches, didn't have much impact at all. Jack Watts had the 18 disposals, but couldn't hit the scoreboard, and was really up the ground a lot in that first half, and then he looked really slow and lethargic in the second half. And there was an instance where he, coming up to take the lead, basically just jogging, and it was like slow motion, and the Geelong player come past and took the mark out of him. I mean, that's not what we're paying big bucks for, mate. That's Melbourne stuff. This is Port Adelaide, and if you can't play to our standard, then SANFL awaits. Same with Motlop. I mean, he looked slow and he just was not aware. Awareness last night was horrible. We had no awareness around the footy, and when we were going inside 50, it was just, there was no target. There was just, I don't understand. You have Charlie Dixon taking a mark, 55-60 out from goal, ready to set up the play to go inside, and Jack Watts is still the same part of the ground, 60-70 metres out in the goals in the centre square. You haven't got a target down forward. You've got who? Who have you got down forward to take a mark? You've got all smalls. You've got Need, Lindsay Thomas, who came in for Marshall last night, Wingard, Sam Gray, Robbie Gray might be down there. No one can take a mark from that. We dearly missed Marshall last night, really, for our structure especially. I said during the week for the preview that if Homps came in, which he did, which he played a superb game, I thought, down back, taking a few solid marks, would hold our structure, especially having our forward structure with Dixon can stay down forward, Dougal and Hoff can go on the ruck, you know, Homps and Jonas and Cleary down back. The structure was good. But then Marshall goes out, so you got Dixon pushing up the ground. Watts is playing his role with high half forward. Then you've got no one down forward to take a mark, and with a weakened defence that Geelong had, they held up really well, and we just couldn't hit their targets. A few passengers last night as well, I felt. Only a few could hold their head high. Bravo, Hamish Harlett. You honestly won a lot of people over last night. A lot of people have criticised you for your form and the way you've been playing, especially last year. But going to the half-back line, you've had a great first 5 games, and you really showed why. You're in the leadership group, and that instant last night has really set the tone for your season, mate, and that is truly respectful, so well done. Another thing that was really respectful was how the club did a fantastic show to showcase ANZAC round. It really showed the respect and the celebration that the round itself, all the troops and everyone involved in the ANZAC spirit deserved, and they did it brilliantly last night with all the presentations. You've had the special performance on the field. The crowd really got involved as well, which was great to see. And also the entrance, Never Tear Us Apart, brilliant last night. 45,000 people. I've never heard it louder in a long time. And that was just great. So well done to the Port fans who showed up as well. So unfortunately the result didn't go our way, but we should be proud of the way we handled it off the field, even though the incidents at the end of the game didn't really help that. But yeah, I mean, that whole pre-game atmosphere was electric. So well done to all the Port fans. Another thing I want to bring up is the umpires. I mean, they didn't help last night. Sure, we lost. We probably lost last night by ourselves again. But God, they could have learned to umpire. We got to go to see that every single week. To see that junk those blokes put out there is ridiculous. And Dangerfield and Selwood, I'm not even going to bother touching that topic. It's ridiculous. The other thing I wanted to mention as well is, as I said, the inside 50s for Port Adelaide, 51 in total, 15 shots on goal, 35% efficiency. 3 of the 18 shots in total that we had, but the 15 that hit the scoreboard, the 3 of those were not even scoreboard. They didn't even hit the scoreboard, which is ridiculous. If you're going to be in the top 4 and play in that calibre of a team, 50-60% of that has got to be hitting the scoreboard. I don't care if you have 15 inside 50, 7 or 8 of those has got to be scoring shots, man. Hit the scoreboard. It's the only way you're going to win games, if you actually have a score on the board. Sounds so simple, I know. Captain Obvious right here. But, come on. 51 inside 50, so you got no target down there. Obviously, as I said before, Lindsay Thomas coming into the side. His influence was felt immediately when he turned over the ball inside the middle of the ground for Geelong to kick a goal. That was really well done to start off your Port Adelaide career. And then also to kick your first goal in the next quarter from a brilliant angle, and it was a superb kick, I must say. That was brilliant and got the crowd and the game rolling, which was great. And then to back it up later by absolutely belting Scott Selwood off the park, which I got a little bit of a giggle out of, because it was a sign of a player that knew he wasn't going to be in this team for week after week. And he just went out there and started clacking people everywhere. Then he hit young Henry in the forward 50 in the third quarter. Someone let him off the leash, and it was good to see a bit of mongrel, but maybe a bit over the top. But end of the day, it's AFL footy. Harden the hell up. And yeah, look, overall, we won the clearances, won the possessions. Hit outs we were down on, but we were getting out of the middle. But it was just our whole... Like last week, it was our midfield who were lethargic. This week, our midfield was great. Robbie Gray, Ollie Wines, superb. Hamish Harlett, half-back line. I thought Boak was serviceable as well. Pollock was brilliant. Ebert with 14 tackles was superb again. These types of players were on this week. They were on. They were getting the ball out, but it was just going inside 50 that hurt us. And then they got us off the counter-attack because we were dominating the play. And at the end of it, we were just buggered because we couldn't hit a target. And every time we couldn't, or we tried to hit a target, it was in the forward pocket. So these things have got to change, and they are fixable. It's not the end of the world, as most supporters are thinking. We just got to stay positive. I know it's only round 5 at the end of the day. We're still 3-2, still in the top 8. We play North Melbourne next week at Etihad Stadium. Big opportunity. They are an improving side. Big opportunity to take them and really make a statement next week. Go 4-2. Then you've got West Coast, Adelaide, China against Gold Coast. Big games. If you can go into the bye 6-3, that's very respectable. It's just a matter of the players wanting to do it. Kenny as well, the coaching staff, they're going to look exactly what they're doing and really, really think about what they're going to do without Ryder for the next few weeks. It's a big question mark right now, and it's going to be something to test Kenny's coaching, our leadership group, and the whole players and the club. If we can get this right, we're sweet. If not, we're in a bit of strife. This is a new segment I'm bringing into the review. It's called Champion of the Week. So it just recognises one player each week that has set the tone for the rest of the team, who's just outdone every other performance or has shown a classy act or a courageous act. This week, obviously, as I stated in the review part before, Hamish Hartlett. Champion of the Week for that courageous effort against Dangerfield to spoil the ball. It didn't end up being a goal either. He'd saved a goal. He then went off on a stretcher, crowd applauding, thinking game over. Passed a concussion test, head split open, 10, 12 stitches, I think he said in his post-match interview. Then to come back on, take a few courageous marks of 18 disposals in the second half. Either the hit knocked some sense into him or something happened, because he was electrifying in that second half, and unfortunately the rest of the team couldn't follow. But Hamish Hartlett is your champion of the week. Now it's time for the votes. Obviously, as we know, for the pair votes, it is 5 votes for a win, 3 votes for a loss. Unfortunately, we did lose last night. So 1 vote goes to Ollie Wines, 29 disposals, 5 tackles, 2 marks, and a goal. Brilliant effort by Ollie. Set the tone in the second quarter with his aggressive clearances as well. And then in the third quarter, when he kicked that goal, really set the tone for how the whole quarter played out. And he's a real barometer now in that midfield, and he's probably our best midfielder, along with Robbie Gray, who was sensational as well. But Ollie Wines was very serviceable last night and was one of our best. 2, as I said, I keep saying his name because I'm so impressed by his effort. Hamish Hartlett last night, he came back onto the ground. He missed a full quarter of football. Still had 23 possessions, took 9 marks, had the 3 tackles, and has 1 broken head. But he was very good last night across the half-back line. He's really showing why he belongs there, and he's really performing across there really well. 3 votes goes to none other than Robbie Gray. He was great in the midfield. 32 disposals, a goal, 5 marks, and 7 tackles in the midfield. He's really becoming not only a possession getter, but a tackle winner and a ball winner as well. And he's hitting the scoreboard. So he's really in a lot of form at the moment after last week. So well done to Robbie Gray, who gets the 3 votes. Well, Port fans, that wraps up this round 5 review of Port Adelaide versus Geelong. A bitterly disappointing result, and you can probably tell the disappointment in my voice. A lot of people are disappointed. Much improvement is needed to keep going this season. It's a big month coming up. Starts with North Melbourne next week at Etihad Stadium. All we got to do is bounce back. It's a long week in footy. Simple as that. So still support the boys. It's a long season. It's only round 5. Plenty of time to make up and make a real crack for 2018. No, all hope isn't lost as yet. Porches Podcast, 8 PM on Wednesday night. Follow the Facebook page, which is in the link in the description below. 8 PM Wednesday night. Review, preview this game, preview next week. The boys will get around it. Spreaker as well. Everyone that's not watching this video is listening on Spreaker. Thank you very much for tuning in. All reviews and previews are available week to week on Spreaker. So if you want to listen and not watch my beautiful face, tune in through Spreaker. And as well, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe for plenty more Port Adelaide content. This week, non-stop with a special ANZAC chat with the Port players coming out, I think, Wednesday or Tuesday. The vlog from last night as well, ANZAC edition. And obviously the preview for North Melbourne as well. So tune in for that, and that's it. Thank you very much for watching, Port fans. I'm done. My name's Anthony, and obviously, can't